Story News in Washington, I'm Harry Horton. US President Donald Trump is set to unveil a tightening in restrictions on trade with Cuba and an end to individual travel to the island. US doctors have disputed North Korea's story about an American student freed in a coma after more than 15 months in captivity. And British Prime Minister Theresa May has ordered a full public inquiry into a huge fire that ripped through a tower block in London.
It's 12:01.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Our Thoughts on the Matter, a program offering opinions from all sides of the issues concerning local, state, and national topics of importance to the Jonesboro community. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters, donors, or sponsors.
KLEK 102.5 FM. Good afternoon to you on your Saturday. It's June 17th, 2017. It is the Saturday before Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all. Happy early, Father's Day to all of the fathers out there. I hope that each and every one of you has a great and blessed day. For those of you that are going to be out there celebrating that, this is Our Thoughts on the Matter. We don't have a lot of people in the studio, but we're going to still have a show. It's myself, Cato Wonder, and we're joined by Mrs. Amanda Donovan.
Good afternoon, y'all.
And I've got my intern, Tim, who's right next to me, and we'll probably have Tim jump on the mic in a little bit, maybe give some of his thoughts as the show rolls on. But before we get started to our topics, I do have a couple of announcements going on. Right now, as we speak, there is a community cookout that is going on at Fullness of Joy Ministries, 2120 Thorn Street in Jonesboro, and it's going to go on until 2 o'clock p.m. They're going to have food, fun, and games for the community. So, community cookout at Fullness of Joy Ministries, 2120 Thorn Street in Jonesboro. And then there's also a car wash that is being sponsored by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, as well as the Jonesboro Kappa League, and the proceeds are going toward the Gears Foundation, which is actually named for Dr. Wilbert Gaines, this scholarship foundation that they have endowed in his name. They're also looking to collect 1,922 pounds of canned goods for the food bank of NEA. And this car wash is going to be at Advanced Auto Parts at both of their locations, at Red Wolf Boulevard next to Walgreens and Highland Drive next to Andy. So Kappa Alpha Psi and Kappa League car wash that is going on. They didn't give a time. Oh, it's from 9 o'clock until 2 o'clock. So if you need your car washed, then that is out there available for you. And also they are collecting canned goods as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get into our show. We're going to kind of just be all over the place. But one of the topics we'll first talk about is, I believe, a topic that Amanda herself actually brought to us. It is concerning the recent unfortunate situation at a daycare in West Memphis, in which some kids unfortunately lost their lives. And what is making the story controversial, besides the fact that these children lost their lives, is that the owner of the daycare is actually a lawmaker from the state of Jonesboro, and his name is Dan Sullivan. And the reason why this is newsworthy is because he had actually pushed for legislation that would ease the restrictions on daycare. And he was actually, I'm looking on this article at KATV Channel 7 out of Little Rock, he actually was able to pass Act 576 that stripped the commission, I'm guessing this is the commission that oversees daycares, of its authority to regulate child care centers. And because of the deregulation of child care centers, incidents like the unfortunate one took place. And we're not going to personally bash Mr. Sullivan about this, but I want to kind of frame this on the context of, and this kind of actually ties into some things we talked about in the past, of what role the government should play in your lives. I know our panelist Brad Dallas not here, and Brad is a staunch conservative, and his beliefs is that do you really want the government in your life? And I don't think no one wants the government in 100% telling you when and what to do, but I think we have to figure out where do we draw the line, because if there's no laws, no rules in place to tell us anything, then people can take advantage and bad things can happen. And I'll just use the example of speeding. If we have speed limits to keep people driving a certain speed in the goal of promoting safety. But if there are no speed limits at all, then people would just go 100 miles an hour on the freeway. So I think we have to decide at what point, and we are joined by Brother Cobbs, which I'm glad. That means I don't have to run my mouth the entire time. So, Brother Cobbs, we're just kind of starting the conversation talking about Mr. Sullivan and the daycare, and I was framing the question on kind of tied into what we've already been talking about. How much regulation do we need to ensure safety, but to make sure that the government doesn't stay out of it? And then we could also look at, in this situation, should Mr. Sullivan even been allowed to do this, since there was obviously a conflict of interest? So I'm going to be quiet now and turn it over to my panel.
Well, in my honest opinion, our children are our legacy. Our children are supposed to be our everything, and we're supposed to protect them as parents. You know, I sort of kind of fall through this because my daughter is in daycare, and I've actually had to take her out of a daycare because of certain issues, like her getting hit on, you know, other children hitting her, the teacher not knowing where these bruises come from. Took a child who is 4 years old, never bit nobody, bit 3 people in a week and didn't know what's wrong. You know, 22 little kids, anywhere from 2 to 4, and the only teacher there, you know. We should protect our children. I mean, there was 4 people in this van, and it took 8 hours for somebody to notice a little boy was missing. You know, that's kind of a problem there. And due to conflict of interest, in my honest opinion, now I know Mr. Dan personally, and I'm not persecuting him whatsoever, but as a businessman and as a politician, he should not have voted on this matter. It shouldn't even brought forth because it was personal gain, in my honest opinion. So.
Okay, I understand where you're coming from, but you know.
Brother Cobbs, pull your mic up just slightly.
Okay, I understand where you're coming from, but there's also a two-way street to everything. Everybody says I'm so against everything else, but no, I look at both sides, try to look at both sides of it, and we have to talk all weekend in the shop, and I'm saying it was an error on whoever part it was, but they said, well, how can you do that for 8 hours? I said, because one person probably thought this person did, this person thought that person did, that person thought that person did, and that's how the child got left on the bus. Because, like, if I'm driving the bus, hey, Bernard, I need you to go do something for me. Come on right quick and do this. Say, okay, the bus mother's supposed to, get the child off. Okay, the bus mother thought I got him off because I left the kids on there because I don't know I'm supposed to get off until all the kids get off. There's a dual system, but they called me away. I had to go do something, but so I was expecting her to do it, and she's expecting me, and it just fell through the thing. I mean, it wasn't no intention. I know it wasn't no intentional thing, but things we get so bottled up with what we're doing. We forget. Some people say, well, how you can forget a child? I said, let me put it this way. This other man, he did his. He left his child in his car, and the child died. But he's not normally take his child to work to drop it off. Mm-hmm. So you don't normally do that. That's not your route. You'll forget. We're human. We forget. I'm used to going this way, and that's where I'm going. But going out of the way, I forgot that I didn't take my child to daycare.
Well, the question that I would have, and I'm not a parent, so I haven't had to deal with any of this, but I would think, wouldn't it be like a checklist of when kids get off the bus that, you mark? I know, at least when I went on field trips, that we used to make sure that everyone was accounted for before the bus took off. I would think that there could have been like a checkoff sheet that, okay, make sure that everyone is spoken for.
But if somebody call you while you're in the middle of doing that, you get misplaced of what you was doing. And then you put that on the next person, the bus mother or the bus monitor.
Well, maybe we have 2 people assigned to that. So if one person gets distracted, the other one can have a backup.
Right. Well, there was 4 people in charge of that van.
That bus, though. It wasn't all on that van.
And he was actually one of the employees actually signed out that he was there. Like he was actually in the facility.
They said that because he was signed on to get on the bus. They knew he rode the bus there. And so if you rode the bus there, you know that you supposed to have got off. They didn't make no other stops, so they said the child was in the building. I mean, come on. It's a death. I hate it, but how many times we sign and just keep going? Come on, you do not check everything you sign. You do not.
I'm one of those weird people. It took me about 2 hours in order to sign my mortgage. I'm one of those weird people. I read everything before
Okay, that's
I
a
sign
mortgage.
it.
But you doing this at daily. Oh, they got on the bus. Yeah, boom, boom. Yeah, they got on the bus. They got on the bus. You looking at they got on the bus, but you're not looking at real actually did they get off the bus. You looking at they got on the bus because I went to the bus stop. I picked them up. Oh yeah, he was on there. We didn't make no other stop. So assumption is yes.
My question is how they couldn't notice that little boy was on the bus. I just don't understand that.
Have you left anything in your car overnight?
Well, we're having a lively discussion, but don't forget, you can join in on the conversation at 870-277-1080. Once again, that phone number is 870-277-1080. And you can also leave your questions and your comments on our Facebook live stream. And Quabila Pink Jim Jones checks in, says exactly, Leganzi, there should have been a checklist. There should be more than one person checking off on it. And for those of you who are just turning in, we're talking about the unfortunate situation with the children who lost their lives on the bus at the daycare in West Memphis.
Okay, like I was saying earlier, have you left something in the car overnight that you normally, you just went to get it and you forgot that it was there? And you said yes. That's apparently what somebody did. It's an oversight. I thought not going to bring it back. No, I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm against it, true enough, but to just say they was just, yes, they was wrong, but I'm just looking at people just saying, how can they do it? Oh, it can be done. It's not right. I'm not saying it's not right by no means, but it can be done. Oversight can happen in a minute.
Blink of an eye. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, now I'm looking at this article. This is from KLEK News and Little Rock, and it's saying 4 employees have actually been charged with manslaughter in this case.
Yeah, 4 of them. 4 women.
And I'm going to read this direct from the report. It says, here's what happened. According to the police report, around 3:50 p.m. on June 12, 2017, police were called to Ascent Child Health Services at 413 West Tyler Cove in reference to a 5-year-old boy not breathing and unconscious. When the officer arrived, he said he saw the boy sitting in a booster seat in the back of the daycare van. The officer said the toddler had blood coming out of his nose and his head was tilted to the right. The officer spoke with the Ascent Child Healthcare Services bus driver, a 42-year-old woman from Marion. She told the officer she picked up Christopher at 6:23 a.m. on with the first group of children and dropped him off at the daycare at 7:13 a.m. She then left to go pick up the second round of children and returned to the daycare to drop them off. After both groups of kids were dropped off at the daycare, the bus driver said another employee, a 40-year-old woman from West Memphis, checked the van for children, who said that there were not any children on the bus. When the employee told her that there were no children on the bus driver clocked out and left. When the officer asked the bus driver if anyone in the building had noticed Christopher in any of the classrooms during that day, she said no one had seen him. The bus driver told police she returned to work at the end of the day around 3:30 p.m. to take the children home. When she went to start the van, she noticed Christopher was still in the van, unresponsive and unconscious. The officer then spoke with another employee, a 43-year-old woman from West Memphis, who was on the bus with the driver that morning. The employee corroborated that the bus driver said, confirming they picked up Christopher at 6:23 a.m. and came back to the daycare where another employee checked the van for children. The woman added that another employee, a 43-year-old from Marion, found Christopher's shoe, realized that he wasn't in the clinic, and went out to the van to look for him. The Criminal Investigation Department, CID, Arkansas State Police, Crimes Against Children, and DHS were all notified and brought to the scene. The outdoor temperature was 90 degrees when they arrived. The temperature recorded inside the van was 141 degrees. Christopher's internal temperatures was taken about 30 minutes after EMS arrived, and it was recorded at 97.1 degrees. He was pronounced dead on the scene, and the victim's mother was notified. This report, again, comes from KARK Channel 4 News in Little Rock. And definitely, before we continue, definitely prayers go out to that family. I mean, we can only imagine, especially as we're getting into this Father's Day holiday, the heartbreak that that child's family must be experiencing. So we definitely want to keep that child and that child's parents lifted up in prayer.
I mean, it's true that, and this is a tragic thing, but like I said, it was a double signing, and on out the driver knew she picked it up. pick the child up. So, but then the other person said wasn't nobody on the bus. Okay, but the driver went on and went home, and then came back. So they got all four of them. I don't think the driver should be at fault.
I don't think the driver should be at fault because that's not her job. The other person who is saying how many children, all the children is off the bus, how could she miss that little boy in his seat? Not once, but twice. They picked up twice.
Well, now they make it down and add some different light to it. So I didn't read that part.
Let me add this little wrinkle to it. Kabila shine some light on this in her comments. If it is not already in the policy needs to be updated. There needs to be a walkthrough at the beginning and the end of each shift on the van. And then Kabila adds, according to the mom, Christopher was a very vocal child, so there's no way that his absence should have gone unnoticed all day, at least by lunch, really. And that kind of brings up an interesting point. I mean, like I said, I'm not a father myself, but I know Amanda, you and Brother Cobbs are parents, and I'm sure you all know about kids that, well, and Tim is too, about kids do cry.
I got 3 little girls. All of them's talkative. And my oldest, who's 8, the same age as he is. Now, she ain't as outspoken as my other 2, but I don't understand how, one, the teacher's not noticing that child wasn't there, for 8 hours and 2 trips. I just don't understand how somebody's supposed to be checking the bus and miss that.
I've made on the person that's supposed to be checking the bus. I mean, the teacher, no. The person that's supposed to be checking the bus, because the teacher could have think the child didn't come to school.
Yeah.
As the person that checked the bus should be held 90% responsible for this. I mean, you're not going to bring the child back, no. But you won't get the opportunity to another child like that.
That's right.
That's for sure.
What really needs to come of this situation is, yes, some tragic thing did happen, but what can we learn from this case? What can we learn?
Said, we need to double check and double check.
Yes.
And I kind of want to bring it back to what we talked about at the beginning of the conversation, back to the regulations, because some people were saying that if the regulations on daycares hadn't been relaxed, this could have been prevented. And again, it kind of goes back to some of our earlier conversations. I know some people say, well, we don't want the government or any kind of regulations at all telling us what to do, but I think this is a case that shows that we do have to have some rules, because if we go in the total opposite direction where there are no rules at all, then people from all walks of life, again, this doesn't have anything to do with Mr. Sullivan per se, but again, I used the example earlier of speed limits. If they took all the speed limit signs down off the highway, you'd have people probably doing 150 down Red Wolf. And
So how was he I heard about that he was I didn't get a chance to read about how was he so? And then it was his daycare center that happened at.
Right. He's the CEO of Accents, and he has also put forth regulation to deregulate the child care services.
And the name of the act was Act 576 of the 91st General Assembly. In fact, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up right quick, see if I can maybe get some more specific terminology on that before we go to break.
In my honest opinion, that's technically, the rules say you are not supposed to participate, like jury duty. If you have any kind of, without a doubt, tied to anything like that, any kind of personal gain from it, you are not supposed to participate in it. You're supposed to abstain. And that goes for our city council and our quorum court, all our government.
All right, I've got to pull it up. This Act. This is Arkansas House Bill 1545. It says summary to allow the Division of Child Care and Early Childhood Education of the Department of Human Services to independently promulgate rules concerning child care facilities. And it says title to allow the Division of Child Care and Early Childhood Education of the Department of Human Services to independently promulgate rules concerning child care facilities. And it's actually got let me look at the summary. We may not have time to read all of this, but if you want to look this up, I found this up on legiscan.com/AR/bill/HB 1545/2017, and we actually won't get time to actually go through all this. Tim, I want to bring in Tim, our intern. Do you have any comments that you'd like to say on any of this?
Well, to be honest, if you want me to tell the truth, I don't think it was no excuse far as the child being left on the bus, to me, because if you have a child, they should have at least played, maybe pretend like it's their children. You know what I'm saying? If you take on that responsibility, because you're in that, these children are in your responsibility or in your care until your shift is over. So they were supposed to have had that kind of mentality. They would have had the mentality. It would have been dealt with regardless of the regulations being lifted or not. If you take your job that serious, as if it's, because somebody didn't check, like, how you miss a whole entire child? That did something to me. That kind of touched me because I have a son, and I would be highly upset if I get a phone call saying my son's been killed. I'd be on that highway. It takes 4 hours for me to get to where my son is. I've been there too, because that kind of stuff it did something to me, and I felt that pain literally.
It's not my child, but I'm pretty sure it really did heated me up.
And I think Tim said it best. I think if people who work in that facility, and not just in that, but in any field, treat people the way that you would want to be treated. And if you work with children, treat those children the way that you would want your children to be treated. We'll be back with more. This is Our Thoughts on the Matter. This is KLEK 102.5 FM.
You're listening to Our Thoughts on the Matter on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jen with your KLEK Learn Spanish Minute. I've got a tongue twister for you guys, and tongue twister in Spanish is trabalenguas.
Trabalenguas.
Yes, and this one is really short, and it's actually from Venezuela. Are you ready?
Sure.
Poquito a poquito, Paquito empaca poquitas copitas en pocos paquetes. Who?
Well, I guess that's short for you, but...
Yeah, that is pretty short for me. It's only one line. Are you ready?
Sure.
Poquito.
Poquito.
A poquito.
A copito.
Paquito.
Paquito.
Empaca.
Empaca.
Poquitas.
Poquitas.
Copitas.
Copitas.
En pocos.
En pocos.
Paquetes.
Paquetes.
Yeah, so really fast, it's going to say poquito a poquito, Paquito empaca poquitas copitas en pocos paquetes.
And what does that mean?
It's basically saying that this little boy named Paquito is packing things slowly. He's packing little cups in little packages.
He's doing stuff slowly, but you say it fast.
Yeah.
The irony.
I'm Jen, and that was your Learn Spanish Minute on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Meineke of Jonesboro is now Starks Auto Service, a full-service auto repair and vehicle maintenance center offering engine and transmission repair, brake service, tires, oil changes, and more, performed by ASE certified mechanics. The all-new Starks Auto Service, 2813 South Caraway Road in Jonesboro, 870-204-7112. Starks Auto Service, Jonesboro.com.
When a woman gives her all to her boyfriend, she is hopeful about the future. Marriage was in her future plans until she received some shocking news. Now, with her dreams shattered and life altered, she has to pick up the pieces and move forward. It was in this experience that she realized that love has no protection. KLEK 102.5 FM and Massey Productions presents the inspirational gospel stage play, Love Has No Protection, a story that will inspire you, renew and reaffirm your faith, featuring performers from all over Arkansas, Texas, and Louisiana. 7 p.m., Saturday, June 24th, at the Arkansas State University Student Union. Tickets are $10 in advance, $15 at the door, and can be purchased at KLEK, Cool Cuts, online at www.klekfm.org or by calling 870-277-1080. Bring the entire family Saturday, June 24th to the Arkansas State University Student Union to see Love Has No Protection, the inspirational gospel stage play, 7 p.m. This event is a KLEK fundraiser.
just added a special 3 o'clock p.m. matinee show. That's right, now it's going to be 2 shows, 3 o'clock p.m. and 7 o'clock p.m. The hit gospel stage play, Love Has No Protection, coming to the ASU Student Union Centennial Hall, June 24th. Don't miss it. From the KLEK Community Calendar, New St. John Missionary Baptist Church presents Back to School Bash and Diaper Distribution. There will be school supplies given away as well as diapers. There will also be food, games, music, and door prizes. This event will take place August 12th, 2017 from 10 o'clock a.m. until 2 o'clock p.m. at New St. John Missionary Baptist Church, 310 North Main Street in Jonesboro.
The Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated was chartered on June 29, 1975 in Jonesboro, Arkansas. AKA was founded on a mission comprised of 5 basic tenets, which are to cultivate and encourage high scholastic and ethical standards, promote unity and friendship amongst college women, study and help alleviate problems concerning girls and women in order to improve their social stature, maintain a progressive interest in college life, and be of service to all mankind through programs of educational enrichment, health promotion, family strengthening, environmental ownership, and global impact. More information about the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated is available at Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated on Facebook and KNOMEGA1908.com.
And now back to our thoughts on the matter on KLEK 102.5 FM.
102.5 FM. Our panel for today is myself, Cato Wonder, along with Mrs. Amanda Donovan, and Brother Cobbs, which you can check out on Victory Praise Gospel tomorrow. And of course, he'll have a very special Father's Day edition of Victory Praise Gospel, shouting out all the fathers. So for all you fathers out there, or even your sons, call in tomorrow and shout out your dad with my guy Brother Cobbs, and also got my guy Tim, who is our newest volunteer. He's sitting next to us. We've been talking about the situation with the daycare in West Memphis, and we actually had a very passionate conversation off there, so I kind of wanted to continue that a little bit. Then if we end up getting to another topic, then so be it. But I do want to read this comment from Quabila on our Facebook live stream. She says, if an agency gets federal funding, Medicaid, vouchers, etc., then the government has some say in some of the policy, procedures, and regulations. And also, if you have a comment, you can weigh in on our Facebook live stream, or you can give us a call at 870-277-1080. Once again, the phone number is 870-277-1080.
I totally.
Yeah, when I get quiet, that's y'all cute to talk.
But it used to be
you catch the next year.
It used to be Amanda's time to come in because she has more to say than anybody.
Well, usually when Brad is here, Brad is
yeah, he picks in.
And of course, we do want to shout out the rest of our panelists. Brad is spending time with his father for Father's Day, and I believe Mrs. Farrell and Shanquetta both are attending funerals, so we definitely want to.
Oh, really?
We want to extend condolences to those affected.
Yeah, that's sad.
That's when Miss Farrell had a birthday party.
Oh, well, it may have. Well, let me look at a group text and see. And also, shout out to Miss Lachey Robinson, who just hit the like button on our Facebook live stream.
Okay, we was like you said, during the time break, during our break period, we was talking about. Well, I was talking about the qualification of a daycare worker.
Oh, let me cut you off. Oh, yeah, you're right. Miss Farrell is at her aunt's 90th birthday party, so that's a blessing.
Yes, it is.
Okay, now
happy birthday, Auntie. But it's like Kabila said, you getting all this government funding situation, government funding and all that. The standards should be higher for you to receive this money. Just because you open up a daycare and you got 10 kids, we're going to give you government fundings and food and all this here, but you got John Blow up the street watching kids. That's not right.
That's right.
That's not right. You need, if you're going to get government funding, I don't care who's listening, I'm standing on my soapbox. If you get government funding, you should have quality people working for you. They might not go to be a 4-year degree, but you got CNA courses. So why you can't have child child care courses.
I agree with you.
If we're not glorified babysitters, I don't want a glorified babysitter I'm paying $90 a week for. My child go there to learn and not get beat up on and stuff like this here. So why not let them be educated enough to where they can, teach my children. Some of them teaching Spanish, some of them teaching, and some of them just sit there and just let them run around the room all day. And still want you to pay them $90 to $115 a week.
I pay $115 a week, sometimes $120.
And that's high. That's high for daycare. I know we need them because we have the children, but I don't want my child to be at a glorified babysitter. I can go to grandma's house for that.
That's right. And that's what I told them too. That one I fired is because I don't want no glorified babysitter. Me and other people had this discussion. Because I was toying back and forth whether I was being a protective parent or not. And all this other, mess before this mess come up and the sad tragedy. But, like you were saying, if we had to have certifications to be a nurse, CNA, or RN or barber or truck drivers, broadcaster, or anything of that nature, you got to have a license. You need to at least attend school or have an apprenticeship, like electricians. Just not some random Joe Blow can wire their house and still turn your lights on. I mean, these are our children. They can't, some of these babies, some of these places take anywhere.
That's their first learning block.
Yeah.
You're not teaching them correctly. They're going to come home and I know some kids was dropping it like it's hot from daycare. I said, you learning at daycare? What kind of daycare you going to? And this was a reputable daycare they was going at.
They would teach them how to twerk at the daycare?
Yes.
I think it may be time to move on to our next
But what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. That's like you need teachers. You need the workers need to be certified and let them know you can't do that at work. I mean, I ain't gonna tell you what all I've seen with these little kids because a lot of them come in the shop. Where you learn that from? Daycare. What kind of daycare you go to?
Well, no, we don't want to name names. We're not going to invite slander and libel lawsuits here.
No, I'm not doing that. But I'm just saying that's where the quality of workers need to be.
Yeah.
But, let's go to our live stream because we do actually have a comment. Lachey Robinson says, preschool teachers are so much more than glorified babysitters. We prepare them for public school. There is a CDA, which is a Child Development Associate credential. You're required to have so many child care trainings per year. Well, Lachey, appreciate you providing information. Lachey, and I do remember you actually worked at Focused. Is this required across the field, or is it mandated that all daycares people have these kind of trainings?
No.
And also, Lachey asks, is that what they do? Bash child care centers and daycares? Well, Lachey, like so, I'll be the first to admit I don't have kids. I don't know anything about the daycare field, so that's why we definitely welcome feedback from the community for people who may have knowledge of what goes on, so that we can have a healthy discussion on these matters.
Now,
Lachey, okay, you might be going to one. You might have your certification, but all of them don't.
No, they don't.
All of them do not. I'm sorry to say, all of them do not have it. I mean, if it's a qualified, if it's a mandatory thing, but these owners need to step up to it. They need to go ahead and push their workers through this program.
And not all of them have their CPR certifications either. So if your child is choking, good luck. I'll tell you that right now. That was part of the bill that Dan Sullivan passed was, they were trying to get all of them CPR and the Heimlich maneuver, and they're claiming it was skyride rates, but we're talking about the safety of our children.
I understand. I mean, we're not downing you, Lachey, but we're just saying just a lot of, I only had a ratio, but there's a lot of daycare workers are not certified.
Now, my other two, they went to daycare and also a pre-K program, and then into
Lachey,
pre-K.
Brother Cobb says it seems like the panel needs to dig a little deeper and do research before these conversations. You must back up your claims, and we may need to revisit this with some statistics on how many daycares actually require of their workers to have some kind of training. So that might be something that we may need to revisit.
I would check on them because I don't have any in daycare. And even my grandkids not even in it. But I've seen too many of them. I'm repeating what I said. I've seen too many of them don't have correct teaching. Now you said preschool. Yes, that's part of Jonesboro
or Valley
View public school system. Okay, yes, they are certified. But how many make it there before they daycare before they make it there?
And there's also, a daycare. There's also a lot of small daycares, and they also have them in their home. They're home-based daycares. They're not as regulated as school-based, because they're having to deal with the public school system, which receives a lot of private government funds, whereas home-based does not.
But I would do some digging. I would do a little bit more digging from what I've seen. I would do that. You're right. We do. But what we're seeing so far is not good. Because if it was done right, we wouldn't have this, what we're talking about, come this weekend.
That's right.
Come this week.
Well, we'll definitely revisit this topic again, do some research on this topic, because, again, we want to make sure that we
not shooting from the hip.
Yeah, have the correct information. Now, let's talk. We're going to move on and talk about something that is getting a lot of attention in the news is President Trump. And, of course, President Trump, and I'm actually going to pull up his Twitter feed. I'm going to do a Google search for Trump Twitter. Has basically, and for all intents and purposes, admitted that he is being under investigation, and several people that are involved in the potential investigation are getting lawyers themselves. So the question that I have before you is, and this is not whether you like Trump or you dislike Trump or agree or disagree with his policies, is with all these investigations going on, do you even think that he will make it to the end of his term? Will this probe grow so intense to where he feels like he's forced to resign, or will the Republicans finally initiate impeachment proceedings against him and remove him from office? And then, as a bonus, if he does survive this term, do you think he gets reelected to a second term?
No, I do not think that he will be elected for a second term.
Neither do I.
I think he lied to a bunch of American people. That's just my honest opinion.
I'm not going to say he lied. I'm going to take that a little bit different. He said what they was afraid to say. And they put him out there to say it. And they all hid behind him. And now that, because he said in his one of his Twitter, he wasn't expecting to win the race. He wasn't expecting to be the president. He was just out there to just, I think I read one of his papers that just say you run for Republican, you run for president, they'll vote for anybody. He said that in the New York Times. Now he did say that.
I did read that. That's why I'm laughing, because I remember reading that.
So
all right, and here's the tweet that I was talking about. This is from the real Donald Trump on Twitter, and it says, "I am being investigated for the firing the FBI director by the man who told me to fire the FBI director. Witch hunt."
Yeah, and then I read somewhere else on his Twitter account where he said that this is the biggest political witch hunt in American history. Well, I'm sorry, I beg to differ. Can we say Bill Clinton? Can we say Watergate?
Watergate, yeah.
I mean,
President Obama.
Yeah, President Obama.
He stepped into something he didn't know anything about.
Well,
he's a businessman.
Well, I want to draw attention to something, and I think this is actually for interest. This is another tweet that is on his page. Let me scroll, because he definitely has a lot of tweets on here. Give me just a moment.
Let me ask you, okay, why is he tweeting so?
Where? Well, this is going to shed some light on it once I find it.
Because they down.
Here we go.
Obama for his.
He said the fake. He says. He says, the fake news media hates when I use what has turned out to be my very powerful social media. Over 100 million people, I can go around them. Basically, he likes to use his Twitter because He can send it directly to the people. It's not going to go through the media. The media is not going to write their stories about it and interpret it, I guess, the way that he feels they interpret it.
And the funny papers.
This is no filter. This is him uncensored. And for those, that support him, they appreciate that. They feel like that they have a direct connection to him, and that they feel that he shares their views.
Okay, but what's the difference in him doing that and Hillary doing what she did, and Obama, Blackbeard, he had to shut off? What's the difference?
Well, the difference was they haven't had much luck taking Trump's phone away from him.
Now, that's one of the few things I do like Mr. Trump about. He does communicate with his followers. He does answer back. There's very few.
You think he's doing that?
No. Well, sometimes. Okay. Sometimes I think it is him. Well, sometimes I don't. But.
Well, actually, I remember reading an article of there are some people who are much more tech savvy than I am, that they have found a way to interpret his Twitter feed, and they can actually tell what kind of device that the tweets are coming from. And I believe they said that if it's coming from an Apple device, it's a staff member. If it's coming from an Android device, it's him. Of course, it's also interesting if you notice that he actually has an official. There is the actual POTUS, POTUS, President of the United States account, which he rarely uses. He relies more on his personal one as opposed to the official president Twitter account.
Why not?
Could be because the tweets on the POTUS account are archived.
And they are more.
But there have been some move. But now the people who are doing the investigation, they still can, and there's a good chance that they probably are looking at his personal Twitter account, because like we've said before, once it's put out there, especially when it's put out there publicly, somebody can look at it and draw whatever the conclusions that they want from it.
I just don't understand. He's supposed to be the most popular man in America. Why are you getting so irate about being under an investigation? If you don't have nothing to hide, go ahead, go dig, do whatever you want.
He's a businessman. He getting back what he told everybody else. You're fired. He just getting it back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think one storyline would be interesting to watch for is the 2018 elections. If he still is president by the time 2018 rolls around, and if there's a Democratic takeover of Congress, I think we would definitely see a ramping up of investigations. Of course, again, kind of bring back to the original topic. Will it even get this far? Do you think that?
Well, they're going to get that far because it takes too long to impeach. So these Republicans, they're going to have to be voted on in 2018, and by them getting voted on, there's going to be a lot of changes of seats. But it's going to take a year to 2 years to impeach a president.
Well, and Brother Cobbs brings up an interesting point. One of the things that is going to make it difficult to actually... Now, the impeachment, I believe, only requires a majority of the House members. But I do know to convict in the Senate, it takes 2/3, which is 67 senators. Yes. Which means that... Let's see, I believe the Republicans have a 52-48. So pretty much all 48 Democrats plus a handful more Republicans would have to join in
and agree upon
to actually throw him out.
The ones that want to keep their seat will agree. Because the United States is getting tired of it. I put you in there for my voice. Mm-hmm. I can't be there. So I elected you. And this what you do to me?
Mm-hmm. Making decisions and shooting at folks when it didn't even go through the proper channel. I'm sorry. He should have been impeached right then and there. In order to be able to fire off a warhead, you were supposed to go through Congress.
Yes.
And that did not even go through Congress. I'm sorry that. I'm sorry,
They
Trump
didn't fire
supporters.
somebody because they don't agree with you. The attorney general fired her because she didn't agree. She just said, let me check it out. No, he didn't give a damn. Because once you get fired from a federal government job, you loses all benefits.
Including their retirement.
Thank you. You loses all benefits.
Yeah.
At least let them resign in peace. I mean, they've been there for years. You just jumping on the boat.
All right, Tim, let's bring our intern Tim back and want to see if he has any comments on any of this right here.
As far as him making to a second term, not going to happen. Him being impeached before he reaches the end of his first term, that's probably not going to happen either. Because it simply takes too long. It's a long process. It takes too many people having to come together and join forces and all this. It's not. That chance is unlikely. I do believe he's gonna actually get to finish his first term, but as far as him getting reelected, I don't believe that's gonna happen. Hopefully somebody comes in. I don't mean to be, biased against Trump or anything like that.
Nobody want to finish no Republican. Not right now.
I hope someone else comes, to take his place or something like that, because we've all seen what he's done and what he's capable of doing. And 8 years of Trump, I'm not going to comment on the rest of that, but it's unlikely, and I think by the end of that term, America's probably would have had enough by the end of those 4 years to at least want to choose anyone else but him.
Well, I think time will ultimately tell on that. Of course, I'm not going to say which way you should vote, one way or the other, but again, no matter how you ultimately feel about what is going on, and this goes into what we've talked about in past shows, that's why it's so critical that you do get out and vote, because if you like the way things are, then please, by all means, go out and vote to keep things the way they are. But if you're unhappy, if you're disillusioned, then you need to get out and vote as well to do something about it.
Okay, but what about the people that did get out and vote, and Russia intervened with it?
Yeah.
Well, the thing about that is, Brother Cobbs, as we get ready to go to break, don't ever let it get close. You got to go for the jugular when you go for an election victory. Don't just try to do just enough to get elected.
No. They had the popular vote. He was beaten by.
Remember the way the Electoral College is set up. It came down to those three.
What we said.
But it was 70,000 votes. Now there were so many people that didn't get out to vote, whereas 75,000 more people got out to vote. Men have difference. We'll be back.
You're listening to our thoughts on the matter on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
They can ruin a perfect day. Headaches, a minor annoyance that can rob you of days of your life. They can be isolated events or warning signs of a serious illness. Headaches occur for many reasons, so if you suffer from them often, it's important to find out why. There could be a genetic connection. For example, 28 million people in the United States reportedly suffer from migraine headaches, and about 80% of that number report a family history of the condition. It's estimated that you have a 50% chance of having migraines if one of your parents suffer from them, and a 75% chance if both parents have them. If your headaches are frequent and severe, see your doctor to rule out a genetic connection or serious illness. Prescription medications offer relief as well. I'm Alexis Comer for Black Health Now.
Black Health Now.
Black Health Now is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to uncompromising commitment to communities, service, leadership, empowerment. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Hello, this is your girl Allie J, and I want everyone to join me for Kick It With a Cancer. My birthday bash going down June 23rd at Legends Barbecue Smokehouse, 1025 West Johnson Avenue, across from Riceland Foods in Jonesboro. This party is going to be an all-ages affair from 7 to 10 o'clock p.m., and I'm letting all cancers in free until 8:30 p.m. with ID. Music by DJ Mr. Chew. To celebrate my birthday, I'm going to make it easy on your pockets, too. Just $5 to get in for adults, $3 if you're 13 and 17, and kids 12 and under get in free. I told you it's an all ages family affair, and you know you want to be there, right? And just because it's my birthday, I'm giving away presents to some lucky guests. So come kick it with a cancer June 23rd at Legends Barbecue Smokehouse, 1025 West Johnson Avenue from 7 to 10 p.m. This is a KLEK fundraiser.
The McDaniel Law Firm, 400 South Main Street in Jonesboro, is a firm believer in justice and equality for the minority community. The McDaniel Law Firm has fought for our rights for over 44 years. The McDaniel Law Firm offers legal help for wrongful death as well as trucking and automobile accidents. Bobby and Brett McDaniel are available for a free consultation at 870-336-4747 or at www.mcdaniellawyers.com. House of Details, located at 3217 Herb Street, Suite C, is a proud supporter of KLEK, offering detailing on any type of vehicle: waxing, clear coat protection, basic wash, hand wash, shampoo, interior cleaning, buffering, headlight restoration, pickup, delivery, and more. With a motto of, anything mean, we can clean. Details available via Quentin Bogard at 870-273-5187. House of Details on Facebook and houseofdetailsjonesboro.com. Fullness of Joy Ministries presents I Am Her, Healed, Empowered, Restored. Women's Conference, Friday, June 23rd through Sunday, June 25th at the church, located at 2120 Thorn Street in Jonesboro. This event will be hosted by co-pastor Elder Susan Rogers. June 23rd will feature Lady Tina Smith at 7 p.m. June 24th at 10 a.m. is the Her Forum, addressing mental, physical, and spiritual health of women. June 25th will feature Apostle Berlinda Helms at 11 a.m., and June 25th will feature Pastor Alice Nolan at 7 p.m. More information is available via Lisa Brown or Lorinda Lockhart at 870-930-9569.
Did you know KLEK has a brand new streaming app? That's right, you can listen to KLEK 102.5 FM anywhere in the world. The app is available for all Android phones and tablets, as well as iPhones and iPads. Just search your app store for KLEK and download the KLEK app for free today. And don't miss a beat of the education, entertainment, and empowerment on KLEK 102.5 FM.
And now back to our thoughts on the matter on KLEK 102.5 FM.
And we're back into our thoughts on the matter on KLEK 102.5 FM. We've been joined by our panelists, Mrs. Amanda Donovan and Brother Bernard Cobbs, who will be doing Victory Praise Gospel tomorrow, special Father's Day edition. So be sure to check that out. And we've had a good day today. We've talked about the situation with daycares, and we talked about the situation with Donald Trump. But I want to kind of give just a personal commentary, I guess my thoughts on the matter. We here at KLEK, we work hard to try to bring programming like this to the community. Programs such as this and community conversations, being a community radio station. And one thing, we're not going to always get along with each other. We're not going to always agree with each other, but we try to provide this platform as an opportunity for the engagement of ideas, so that people can speak how they feel. And at the end of the day, it's my hope that we can all walk away from this table, walk away from the airwaves, walk away from the stream as friends, respectful and cordial to each other. There may have been some people who think that some of the things that we talk about on the programming that we do attack people, and we're not out to attack anybody. If anybody knows about attacks, it's me. I get personally attacked all the time. I mean, I get attacked by people in my own community, people who say bad things about me when I have given my blood, my sweat, my tears. I've sacrificed so much more than people could ever know to try to provide this, for you guys. And I would do it all over again. And I don't hold a grudge against anybody. Even though there are people who hold grudges against me, talk bad about me in the streets, I still do this for each and every one of you. And so for each and every one of you that do support what we do here at KLEK, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I want to thank each and every one of you for supporting during the good times and during the bad times, because we couldn't do it without you. Thank you to the sponsors, to the underwriters, to the donors, to the volunteers. And that's another thing people also don't understand, that people seem to get upset. This is a non-commercial, non-profit public radio station. This is not like, it may sound like the other stations that you listen to. I mean, with the music, with the production elements, even the announcements may sound like commercials that you typically on other stations, but what we do is totally different as a public media outlet. And it depends on public support in order to keep going. It's not just about, oh, this is just Leganzi doing whatever, and Leganzi, was just trying to get over and take advantage of people. Well, no, it's not like that. I tell anybody walk through the door, if you feel like I've taken advantage of you, please walk out the door. Just go. And I'm just so serious as a heart attack. Don't let the door hit you.
Okay.
But for those who have stuck by me, I definitely appreciate it. So I'm gonna stop there, and I'm gonna read some announcements. I'm gonna read a couple announcements, some things that we've got going on. We have the community cookout at Fullness of Joy. That is going on until 2:00 p.m. today, I believe. I'm trying to pull it up on our Instagram feed.
While Laconzi's doing that, I want to shout out to my father-in-law and Marco. Happy Father's Day, y'all. I want to shout out to my husband, who I know is listening, maybe watching, either or. But happy Father's Day. And is there other Cobbs, anybody you want to say happy Father's Day to?
I want to say happy Father's Day to all the eligible fathers out there today. I'm not even saying all fathers. I'm saying all the eligible people that are able to be called a father. A father is more than just a sperm donor.
That's right.
So to all the eligible fathers out there, I want to tell you all have a happy Father's Day.
Okay, I've now got to put up Community Cookout, Fullness of Joy, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Food, fun, and games, 2120 Thorn Street in Jonesboro. Then also, Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi, along with KLEK, having a car wash at Advanced Auto Parts, Red Wolf Boulevard, next to Walgreens, and on their Highland Drive location. They're also collecting canned goods. They're trying to collect 1,922 pounds of canned goods. I wonder how they're going to haul all those canned goods to the food bank.
Well, if they need help, all they got to do is holler at me.
God bless them. Don't forget Party with the, what's the name of Alice party?
Party with the Cancer.
No, Kick It With the Cancer. Kick It With the Cancer next Friday, and our gospel stage play, Love Has No Protection. That's also next Saturday. So next Friday and Saturday, please hang out with us. And of course, we'll be giving away tickets for the gospel play tomorrow on Victory Praise Gospel. Tim, you have any final comments?
No, I just want to say that I'm honored to be a part of the panel today, and I thank you for everything that you've done, the opportunity you give me. I really appreciate it. And I also want to say shout out to all the fathers out there, even my pastor included. That he's a real father, and I want to shout out to the fathers in the local area of Jonesboro that to have a happy and special Father's Day also.
And I just want to send a Father's Day shout out to my late father, Herman Kale, because obviously it hadn't been for him, I wouldn't be here today. You guys have a great and blessed day, and we will see you again next Saturday. This is Kate.
I will see you tomorrow.
Hug and kiss those babies.
KLEK 102.5 FM.
Thank you for listening to our Thoughts on the Matter on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program offering opinions from all sides of the issues concerning local, state, and national topics of importance to the Jonesboro community. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the Voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters, donors, or sponsors.